Sounds hard to believe, right? In Brazil, farmers are digging war-style trenches just to stop wild boars. In just one night, these invasive species can flatten an entire field, moving in swarms and destroying everything in their path. No fences, no electricity, just a deep ditch. And here's the kicker, it worked. In many rural parts of Brazil, wild boars are a relentless nightmare. They don't just ruin crops, they crush corn, uproot cassava, topple sugarcane, attack livestock, and even spread disease. A single night can cost farmers $2,000, 0 cents to $10,000. They're fed up with watching their hard work get obliterated time and again. So they took a different approach. Forget electric fences, traps, or chemicals. They're digging deep, wide ditches around their fields. The idea is deceptively simple. When boars charge in, they hit a barrier they can't cross. They can't jump over or climb up, so they fall in. And once they're down there, getting out is no small feat. At first, people thought these ditches were extreme, but the results, boars either get stuck or give up. They're completely blocked. Who would have thought such a basic solution could be so smart and effective? These ditches are no joke. In some places, they're so deep and wide they look like military fortifications. For farmers, it's the most practical way to save a season's worth of grueling work. Wild boars aren't just a nuisance, they're a major threat. They move in packs, destroying with eerie coordination. One night can wipe out months of effort. Worse still, they carry the risk of spreading disease. In southern and southeastern Brazil, a single night can rack up thousands in damages. Tired of cleaning up the aftermath, farmers decided to act from the start. That's when these ditches started popping up. The ditches are typically 3 to 5 feet deep and over a metre wide, with steep slopes that make climbing out nearly impossible. For large fields, building them is a real challenge. Many farmers dug miles of ditches around their land. It's no easy task, but the payoff is clear. Boars can't get in. Some farmers worry, though, if ditches become common, will boars learn to avoid them? Or will they just move to areas without ditches? The biggest advantage? No electricity, no fences, no poison, no constant monitoring, no risk of tampering. These ditches stand quietly, doing their job like a natural, rock-solid barrier. They're nearly impossible to breach. They work silently, causing no panic for other animals. No smells, no electricity, no chemicals. Almost perfect, right? But nothing comes free. Digging ditches requires heavy machinery, skilled labour, fuel, and loads of time. The costs don't end with digging. In heavy rain areas, soil erodes easily, and ditches can fill with mud, turning into stagnant pools or clogged channels. A defence structure can become a muddy mess if not maintained properly. That's why a solid drainage system with flow channels and retaining walls is critical to keep ditches functional year-round, especially during rainy seasons. Safety is another big concern. Without clear markings, ditches can become dangerous traps for machinery or workers. In some US states, they use helicopters to take down herds of wild boars from the air. But those methods are expensive and can damage the environment. That's where Brazil's ditch digging strategy stands out as an effective, low-cost and environmentally friendly solution. In Sao Paulo, where herds of wild boars once numbered as many as 200, fields can be destroyed overnight. That's why more and more farmers are taking the initiative turning ditches into protective walls on modern farms. That's why Brazil's ditch strategy is seen as one of the few cost-effective, efficient and sustainable ways to tackle wild boars. When you see fields surrounded by war-like trenches, don't laugh. That's the work of farmers fighting to protect their crops, their land and their future. Two, why are wild boars considered pests? They're eating and breeding machines, said Martin Coker, a biologist with the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fish and Parks Pest Program. They don't typically have direct competition, and they don't have many natural predators, so that they can reproduce at an incredible rate. Herds of boar are called hyperbarkers, and these hyperbarkers destroy landscapes. A 2020 federal report said the nation's 5 million wild boars cause an average of $300, 0 cents in damage per boar, bringing the total annual cost to $1,500 million, 0 cents. That includes environmental damage, soil erosion, and agricultural losses. Perhaps as a hunter, you want to do your part, either as a form of recreation or to help a nearby landowner get rid of a small sounder. You may run across some hogs while pursuing other species. In fact, in Mississippi, where Coker resides, and in neighbouring Louisiana, hunters are taking more wild hogs than they are deer in a year. Whatever your reasons for planning a wild hog hunt, here's some of what you can expect.
Up! Good load.
When is the best time to hunt wild hogs? It's a question we hear over and over, and the answer is always the same: at night. As hog hunting has become an increasingly popular method to control the expanding wild hog population, the species has adapted to hunter behaviour by becoming nocturnal. As a result, the best time to hunt wild hogs is when they're awake and feeding at night. Of course, hunting at night comes with its own set of challenges. Limited visibility for shooting, the increasing likelihood of spooking the hogs, and the added challenge of locating them in the dark. Want to guarantee yourself a trophy knockdown in darkness? Follow our 3 tips below for a successful night hunt. You've heard the saying, bait and wait. Setting out feeders is one of the most effective ways to take a wild hog. Hogs have an extremely well-developed, keen sense of smell, which they rely on heavily to seek out food. Because hogs can smell some odours from up to 5 to 7 miles away, loading up feeders with their natural food sources is a great way to lure them out in the open. Bait to use in hog feeders includes acorns, corn, fruit/nuts, and oak mast. Automatic feeders can be set to go off after dark, and frequent baiting in an area where there is optimal visibility, like a field, will serve to train the hogs. Once the hogs start associating that feeder with a meal, you'll have them coming to you. Even in a well-illuminated area like a field, where the moon will provide some visibility, using a light is the best way to ensure that you'll make your knockdown when hunting at night. It's important to use discreet, low-intensity light tracking a hog to ensure that you don't spook the animal. White lights and lights that are too bright will scare the hogs, causing you to lose your prey, or worse, become subject to the hog's aggressive behavior. Red lights are the best for hunting at night. Attaching a light to the underside of a hog feeder to illuminate the area and provide a clear visual before you shoot is a surefire wire to guarantee a successful hunting trip. Titan, the largest wild hog ever seen in Hill County, turned a quiet Texas neighborhood into a war zone. The 800-pound creature with massive tusks caused a crash on County Road 12 when a pickup truck swerved to avoid it, but fortunately the occupants were able to get to the hospital safely. Fences were smashed, lawns trampled, and hoof prints were left deep. In Season 2, traps failed and nighttime rifle shots missed their target, making Titan bolder and more dangerous. As the town panicked and accidents continued, the farmer knew that Titan had to be stopped with bullets or barricades before it caused more trouble. The start of summer is the peak season for wild hogs, with titans roaming around hungry and desperate. The farmer grabs a .38 108 rifle loaded with heavy gauge bullets to dispatch them quickly. Texas allows wild hog hunting year-round, but the heat of summer makes titans more active, attacking roads at dusk. A good shot is important, as a miss can send the titans disappearing, and they become smarter and harder to track. But hunting isn't enough. Titans keep escaping, and the neighborhood needs protection now. A wildlife expert urged a smarter plan. Fence the titan in first, then hunt it if necessary. The farmer pulled 48-inch galvanized wild hog shields from Tractor Supply. They're 4x4-inch mesh made to stop a charging hog. T-posts and heavy-duty electrical wire were added to deliver the Titan's shock. The setup was aimed at the edge of the road, where the Titan crossed from the woods. The shields were buried a foot deep to prevent digging, and solar chargers powered two 6- and 24-inch wires to deliver a safe but powerful shock. You should also know that woven wire mesh fencing is a strong and humane solution. To prevent pigs from digging underneath, the fence must be buried 12 inches deep and 48 inches high to prevent wild boars from getting through. Woven fences can withstand the force of a mid-sized pickup truck like a 4,000 to 5,000 pound Ford Ranger, crashing into them at 15 amp, according to tests by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. At $2.00 a foot, They're ideal for small farms or yards near roads, where wild boars are known to cause havoc. Do you know, when is the best time to hunt in Texas? Summer is the ideal time to hunt wild hogs, with relaxed state regulations allowing year-round hunting to limit their destructive impact. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department actively supports this effort. Stable summer weather, with temperatures often reaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit and clear skies, increases hunter visibility for wild hogs. This makes it easier for hunters to track and knock down wild hogs. But the heat can be difficult for even seasoned hunters. According to Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, when summer conditions remain stable without heavy rain or storms, hunters across Texas can take more than 500,000 wild hogs each year. This robust intervention helps protect rural communities from property damage, such as trampled crops and broken fences, while reducing road accidents caused by wild boars, ensuring safer landscapes and sustainable agriculture. As the first light of dawn pierced the mist over the dead marshes, the drone's engine cut through the reeds, opening a path deeper into the rugged terrain. Above, a drone buzzed, scanning the dense underbrush for any sign of movement, while the hunting dogs barked excitedly as they picked up the scent of the invasive boar. And then it happened. The drone locked onto a herd of 12 boars, their massive 200-pound bodies crashing through the underbrush near a muddy stream. The flying boat sped forward, the dogs leading the charge. A shot rang out, and one of the giant boars fell to the ground. Another shot and another boar fell, its 150-pound body sinking into the mud. In just 20 minutes, 4 wild boars were down, each taken down with precision and humanity. Thanks to a thermal scope that could lock onto targets up to 300 yards away. It was a high-risk mission, and you're about to learn why. As the sun rose, the swamp grew wet, the air thick with a buzz of insects. A boar burst from cover, charging at a hunter at top speed. A quick shot took it down from 8 feet away, a suffocating reminder of the danger. The team regrouped, following fresh hoof prints in the mud that indicated the herd had recently moved along a creek. The crack of gunfire took down 2 more. Night fell and the swamp became eerie, and thermal scopes glowed, revealing a 300-pound leader boar near a creek. A hunter held his rifle tight and fired a clear shot. 300 pounds of trouble gone, one hunter shouted. Night hunting doubled the challenge, but thermal technology increased the success rate to 40% after dusk. By morning, the flying boat was carrying dozens of wild boars, each a threat removed from this fragile ecosystem. Why do these hunters risk their lives in the dead swamp? Not just for the thrill, but to protect our water, wildlife, and way of life. Wild hogs are a growing menace across the South, from Texas to North Carolina, and their impact on water supplies is devastating. When wild hogs burrow near rivers, streams, or wetlands, they stir up sediment, making the water cloudy and contaminated with their waste. A study in Texas found that wild hogs increased bacterial pollution in rivers by 35%, threatening drinking water and aquatic life. In the United States, they have degraded 70% of wetland ecosystems in some areas, disrupting fish and bird habitat. "My cattle can't drink this water anymore," said one farmer next to a polluted stream. "It cost me $5,000, 0 cents a year to truck in clean water." With wild hogs having a reproductive rate of 6 to 8 hoglets per litter, the damage they cause could cost the United States $2.5 billion, 0 cents per year if left unchecked. But water isn't their only target. Wild hogs spread 30 diseases, including African swine fever, that threaten livestock and cost farmers millions of dollars in control measures. Their burrowing erodes the soil, causing 10 million 0 cents in infrastructure damage each year in states like Texas, from broken fences to rutted roads. They compete with native wildlife like deer for food, reducing hunting tourism revenue by 20% in places like North Carolina's Mount Pisgah. Hunting boars in the dead swamp isn't just about skill, it's shaped by law. In many southern states like Alabama and Texas, wild boars are classified as invasive, with no bag limits or closed seasons, allowing year-round hunting to curb their spread. Landowners can hunt on private property without a license, but public lands require permits, ensuring safety and tracking. Some states offer bounties up to $5.00 per boar to encourage control, though funds are limited. Hunters must follow ethical guidelines, using humane methods to avoid fines up to $500, 0 cents. Curious about local laws where you live? Check your state's wildlife agency to join the fight legally. The North American mountain goat is a mammal endemic to North America, living in high mountain ranges and rugged terrain. In the United States, they are mainly distributed in the states of Idaho and Wyoming. Mountain goats can affect high mountain vegetation, leading to soil erosion and affecting local ecosystem. Although there are no specific figures on traffic accidents involving mountain goats, the presence of invasive species on mountain passes can be dangerous for drivers, especially when faced with large and unexpected animals. With a weight of up to 300 pounds, collisions with mountain goats can cause loss of control of the vehicle and lead to serious accidents. In that sense, mountain goat hunting is no longer a sport but a grueling challenge that requires physical fitness, mountaineering skills, and patience. Only about 1,000 to 1,500 mountain goat hunting permits are issued in the United States each year, making it one of the most challenging and prestigious hunts for hunters. But what drives them? Unlike deer or wild boar hunting, mountain goat hunting requires hunters to climb to over 1,864 miles, where thin air and harsh weather can knock out an unprepared hunter. December, when the leaves fall on the mountains of Montana, is prime time to hunt mountain goats. The adult males have thick white coats and are preparing for the harsh winter. Hunters begin their journey by climbing the cliffs where this invasive species lives. An adult can weigh between 154 and 308 pounds, with a sturdy body and strong claws that help it grip the rocks. After 4 hours of tracking, a hunter spotted a large male goat standing on the edge of a cliff 250 yards away. With high winds and slippery terrain, a misfire could send the goat hurtling hundreds of miles down the cliff, ruining its precious meat and hide. The 0.38 Winchester round hit its mark, taking the goat down in seconds. The goat carcass, perched precariously on the edge of the cliff, posed a major challenge for the hunters. They quickly tied ropes around the carcass and moved carefully to avoid any accidents. After more than 3 hours of effort, they lowered the carcass to flat ground. Time was not on their side, as the harsh weather could cause the meat to begin to decompose, attracting predators. On the spot, they quickly processed the goat meat and divided it into smaller portions for easier transport. Especially in goat hunting, you will not know the mysterious story behind, only this video will tell you. Due to the danger and the limited number of mountain goats, applying for a license is very competitive, sometimes taking 3 to 5 years to get a chance to receive. Also, why do hunters want to get a license to hunt goats? The total value of a mountain goat is $4,400 USD for a large goat. So if you are a hunter, will you keep the meat to enjoy or sell it for profit? But soon another threat emerged. Bears, the natural predators of mountain goats, returned in staggering numbers. In Yellowstone alone, the wolf population has increased by more than 50% in the past 10 years, causing the mountain goat population to plummet. A new hunt began. Mountain goat hunting is part of a sustainable hunting culture in North America. It helps control wildlife populations, protects ecosystems, and provides an unforgettable experience for those who dare to take on the challenge. But the question is, in 10 years, will mountain goat hunting still be an option or a thing of the past? Share your thoughts. Please watch the next video.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.